Hello, my friends. Welcome back to another Work in Progress Wednesday. Happy Wednesday to those who choose to acknowledge it. We're back. I'm here. Spirit City's here. Got a new shirt in game. I think that's pretty neat. This is once again another Work in Progress Wednesday where I don't know what I'm gonna do. I was gonna write a little bit. I was thinking about it. But honestly, I mean, I probably will end up writing something, but probably not what I was working on. I keep trying to work on like a convoluted magic system for this setting that I have going on. And it just simply like has not worked. Will not work. Oh, by the way, darling, can you close the windows in here? Oh, sure. That's fine. I just worry, you know, we're pretty close to like an overpass, and yeah, some people be fucking zooming past. But yeah, that's okay. I'll turn the fan on and open the windows after the stream. But yeah, I was working on a magic system. I don't know if I want to work on a magic system for the stream. I might just kind of talk out of my ass for the stream, like I usually do.
On the fart, babe.
You talk with your farts? I know Mikey does.
I mean,
it's okay. Don't worry about it.
The wet fart. I didn't mean it.
It's okay. You're adorable. But yeah, that's the vibes for today. The vibes are very chill, very attendance grade, sort of, you know. I honestly was like 80% positive I wasn't gonna stream today as of like an hour ago. So the fact that I'm here, I feel, is a marketable improvement. Oh, there's the little pupper. He's so cute. Little pubbos in chat. I feel like I approach world building incorrectly. Where I come up with some, and I want to preface this by saying I don't really think there's an incorrect way to world build, except for when I do it. You know what I mean? I tend to approach world building from a, like, make a system and then make the story adhere to the system sort of way, when in reality it should probably be the opposite. I think anything you do as far as a world building conceit is concerned, unless you are doing like some crazy accurate sci-fi or like historical fiction, but even then, I think all of the nonsense that you put together should serve the narrative and not in reverse. Because like there's things that I know I want people to do with this magic system. And I think I should focus on what I want it to do instead of what is capable within like these. I put weird boundaries around my world building things sometimes. I don't know. That's why I'm kind of playing fast and loose about it. I was telling my girlfriend it was initially going to be like an elemental magic system, because I think in theory elemental magic is very fun in terms of like extrapolating to its logical conclusion, where if you are good at both fire magic and earth magic, you can become proficient in lava magic. And then if you're good at lava magic and water magic, you can like encase people in hot rock or whatever. And like eventually you extrapolate all the way down to like thermodynamic magic and time magic and like some crazy doodle god shit. You know what I mean? But I think in practice, specifically, and I'm thinking of this specifically as a writer, because there's ways to make that interesting in visual mediums, like video games and comic books and movies and stuff. But I need it to also be interesting in prose, because that's primarily what I'm working with here. We're getting a little better on the art front, but not in a hurry. So I still have to think of things in terms of like the written medium as opposed to like, ooh, how cool would this look if we, you know, fully articulated a 3D model and had all of the particle effects and yada yada yada. Or even better, if I animated it on the ones 2D. Like, I can't animate anything on the anythings, much less, you know, a fully fleshed out humanoid casting fireball. So I think I kind of want to, I'm kind of playing loose with it. And I think that's been fun. Cause then the looser you play with it, the more you can kind of Deus Ex Machina your way into, like, out of a corner, I'll say, not necessarily into a corner. Cause if you've got an elemental magic system with very clear boundaries, like needing to have access to the element or to summon the element before you can manipulate it, or like you can only manipulate it in this form if you're proficient in this whatever. Instead, I could just be like, oh, it's green magic. Green magic can do this handful of things. Don't ask me questions. And I think I kind of like that better. Oh, I did have an idea that I have to write down. I have those sometimes. I had an idea, believe it or not, while I was taking a shower earlier. I have all of my best and worst ideas in the shower. Let me bring up my nonsense here. As we all do, as we all do. Honestly, if you're not a person who thinks in the shower, either you're a person who takes like 2-minute showers, you know, or I guess you're a neurotypical who isn't flooded by thought every millisecond of their lives. Okay, so there we go. Is structured. That's where I came up with the idea for that 5 pages of nonsense that I wrote the other night in the shower. Honestly, so valid. I've had several Ezra Mayu ideas in the shower. I'm still kind of stuck on that AU that I was talking about, mostly out of my ass, where they were like, it was like a Stardew Valley sort of thing, where Ezra like owned land, and Bramble was gonna be like the farmhand for hire. That was a good idea. But also there's dozens of other things that I need to be writing right now. We do not need to start another Ezram RP. Maybe at some point. But I need to get my writing pants back on. As a treat. Because I do want to get my shit together for Kinktober. I think that would be fun to do. An Ezram Kinktober? Oh god. You could have a 40-second AU as a treat for responding to one of the other 41 AUs. You know what? You're so right. I do need to do that. Honestly, I could do that as part of stream. That's working on works in progress, right? It's honestly probably more productive than half of the other WIP Wednesdays that I end up doing. Excuse me. Where the fuck did Discord go? Maybe. I don't know why I'm so anxious about it. Me with your responses in my mouth. You're adorable. Also, no worries. Feel free to lurk. And you have nothing to apologize for. I just think... I don't know what it's been recently. I've been, like... unable to write. And I worry it's because I'm considering... like... quote-unquote writing for the public in the near future, and I think that's gotten my my perfectionism on fucking overdrive at the moment, you know? Because the perfectionism's one thing when it's just like me, myself, and I, or like me and my girlfriend, who I know appreciates my writing regardless of how bad it actually is. But then if you take it a step further and be like, all right, I'm gonna write this piece so I can sell it to people so that they can pay me in like Patreon commission for it, and then my brain is like, then it better be perfect, then it better not suck, you better make every single one of those words the exact correct one. And it's like, but that's not how that works. You got a degree in being a good writer. You're a good writer by law, basically. I don't know if that's how that works. It was a private college. God, that was a trip though. Actually going to school for writing. I have physiological responses to your writing because it's so good and you know that. I mean, I do know that. But as my girlfriend, you're obligated to tell me my writing's good. These people are not obligated to tell me that my stuff is good. Especially if it isn't. I need to stop looking at that list. No. I keep forgetting how freaking Obsidian works. There we go. Oh no, my Slinky. No, my Slinky. No panic. Okay, we're good, we're good. I have the tiniest Slinky that I love fidgeting with. But also it's a Slinky, so at any moment it wants to Ouroboros itself into a tangle of useless nothing. So I have to be very careful fidgeting with it, which I don't do very well. It's a wild time. I think I've gotta do just the 6, which is honestly so annoying. Focus the 6. Brother and nephew would like to play Peak tonight, potentially. I could play Peak tonight, potentially. After stream. I am down. I love the, so like, no, we're not getting into the science of it. It's fine. It's, no, not all of you need to go down this Wikipedia rabbit hole with me. About freaking color theory or whatever. Oh my goodness. I do love going down a Wikipedia rabbit hole though. Okay. Gotta minimize the Discord because I don't know if I can. I don't know if I have the strength for that right now. I'm sorry. This is gonna make me want to reread stuff, and I can't reread stuff vocally unless you want me to talk about the terrible things that we do in those RPs on stream. Might be against TOS. I mean, like, how against TOS would it be if I just talked about it? Maybe just a little. Some of it, yes. But like, I don't know. I don't know if I wanna. I don't know if I want to test how good Twitch and YouTube's audio filters are at picking up specific keywords. And I also, like, you can't pay me to do the fucking, God, there was a term for it. Like the censored speech that a lot of content creators do now, where you say unalived instead of, like, killed or murdered or died. And, self-censoring bullshit. I hate that. It, unironically, it makes my blood boil when I like, which is one of the reasons I'm attempting to try to step away from being on like social media too much. And one of the key reasons is stuff like that just like makes me irrationally angry. And I'm not the type of person who to like get in the comments and bitch to the creator about it, because first of all, that's what they want, and second of all, it's not gonna do anything for me. So I just like sit there and be mad about it for forever, which is also not good for me. Blood is another word you can't say. I hate that. I hate that. It's one of my favorite hidden tracks off of My Chemical Romance's discography. Unironically, it's a banger. It's so good. The amount of fucked up little Blorbo scenarios that I put myself through to the tune of Blood by My Chemical Romance as a teen. Oh, it's so good. Lurk for real this time? Honestly, so valid. You've disappeared into Christopher's nest twice. Even deeper than before. Also, look at my little duck. I got a new guy. He's writing with me. He's so cute. Why is... Maybe we'll do some troubleshooting here for a second. Why? I'm gonna fuck with the PNG tuber. Because I can. Is that what I... Of course, now that I'm looking at it, it's not a problem. It's only a problem when I'm not looking at it. No, I saw it. I saw it. It was right there. Is that's too... How about now? Is that better? I think that might be a little bit better. I could fuck around with this for an eternity, I think. But I think that's looking better. I was noticing it was stopping talking before I was done talking. So I was like choppy in the middle. And I think this helps. I think this helps. Okay. But yeah, so I mean, I never posted a social media site to attach to this channel, so it's not like you're gonna miss much, but there were sites that I was on. I'm a Tumblr and like Reddit kind of guy, sort of. I'm mostly a Tumblr kind of guy. And I think I'm going to stop doing like I do a lot of Tumblr and YouTube shorts doom scrolling. And it's not good for me, especially because of many things that I am undiagnosed with, but that I believe I have. So, on the plus side, in the near future, you'll probably hear me talk a lot more about, like, actual content on this channel, because I think that's what I'm gonna try to get into, is, like, watching more... like movies and TV shows and stuff, because I'm bad at that too. But on the downside, again, you're not really gonna get a... I don't even have a Discord channel attached to this channel. Because honestly, Discord doesn't impress me either. I've considered it a lot, but I simply don't know if there's enough hours in the day for me to, like, make and perfect and moderate a Discord channel. It seems more stressful than I want it to be, so I haven't done it yet. Perhaps if the channel gets a little bit bigger and we get, like, an actual moderating team, I could consider it. But at the moment, it's just me. Me, myself, and my PNG tuber. And my PNG tuber ain't moderating for shit. Christopher also is not moderating for shit. So, things I've considered. But I think I always pitch it as like consume more content. But that's not what I want to do. I want to read more books and watch more movies and honestly even play more video games. I've got fucking... Hold on, what's the count now? 664 games in my Steam library alone. This is not considering the number of games I have on Nintendo platforms. This is not considering the number of games I have on Sony platforms. Hell, it's not even considering the number of games I have on my phone. I think I could just do more with my time. And I think I am not only willing to, but ready to do a little bit more with my time. You know what I mean? Came here for the world building, stayed for the existential social media rant. We're not going to get into current events about it, but it is a little current events motivated, let's be honest. Speaking of current events, that's another thing that's so hard about world building, is like, especially in terms of like fantasy and sci-fi, there's a lot of people joke about fantasy racism and being like I don't want to be in a game that's supposed to be a fantasy of mine, in air quotes, and have to deal with real life like racism and sexism and homophobia and stuff. And I do think a lot of that is true and fair. But sometimes as a writer, it is difficult to come up with interesting drama that isn't linked to one of those. But especially if you're writing like a political intrigue, like Game of Thrones, House of the Dragons type, that like really gets into like lineage and how you're supposed to behave in court and so on and so forth. I say this having not read the books or watched the show, but I've seen bits of it, and it seems very like gritty, realistic, because there's not really like, there's some magic, but there's not like magic in the world, so they rely on a lot of like real things to talk about, and the real things to talk about are like bastard sons and whose bloodline is purest in relation to the throne, and I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm here for the dragons, the like 3 episodes that the dragons are in. Can that be my thing? So I am trying to come up with more interesting things to talk about, specifically because my world will have more dragons in it. That I can assure you. But I worry sometimes, you know, like if you come up with, even if I come up with a different like standard, if the standard of this world isn't necessarily like cisgendered heterosexual white man, does the culture around the standard of this world lend itself to common issues that we see in reality that I don't want to touch on? It's a balancing act, you know? And I don't want to like dumb it down in any way. I'm not here to pretend that like the world is perfect so that there is no racism, sexism, homophobia, transphobia, etc. I want there to be ubiquitous problems like that, but ubiquitous problems that are not so similar to feel too real for the setting, which seems like a unique problem to have. I don't know if anybody worries about this sort of thing but me. But I want to worry about, like, God, can I even come up with an example? like, what if the, you know, because there's a lot of dragons in the world. What if the social taboo is whether or not, like, your kid is a dragon rider? Is that like is it frowned upon to have dragon riders in your family? I mean, probably not. It probably depends on your view of the local military. But again, that's like getting too deep into things. Is being a dragon rider in this world like being in the Air Force? Or is it like owning a horse? But even owning a horse in our world doesn't come without politics about it. You gotta be pretty rich to own a horse. You gotta be rich to own a dragon? You gotta be rich to ride a dragon? Is that the deal? It's like degrees of separation away from what I was talking about. But it's not without its real life counterparts. And I think that's fine. But it does put a certain stress on me as the writer to not be weird about it, I guess. I try not to be weird about things, but I worry sometimes. Believe it or not. This brain's like 80% anxiety by volume. So I worry sometimes. I worry that it's, you know, not a good idea. Because I feel like if you deliberately try to step away from real life problems and you step into problems that are similar to real life problems, but not, then you get called like a coward for it, for just not being like a, like, oh, why don't you just talk about, you know, the economic inequality of the upper and lower classes instead of just like dancing around the problem with your weird dragon riding nonsense. And it's like, cause I don't want to talk about economic inequality. Not like legitimately. I want to talk about my dragons. Welcome to things that nobody thinks about. Except, I want to say that nobody thinks about except for writers, but potentially that nobody thinks about except for me. I don't want to believe that I am a completely unique human experience, but there's something wrong in it. There's something wrong in here. You know what I mean? It feels like running in circles. And I really just want to, like, not think about it as thoroughly as I have to think about it. But alas, overthinking it is what I'm here for. Goodness, I should have gotten myself a drink before this stream started. Not a drink, but like some water. But the filter wasn't refilled, so alas. Excuse me. Maybe if we get like halfway through, I'll get up and get a sody. A sody pop. The music's good. I'm excited for this time next week. Well, in a couple of days, honestly. We're gonna be getting another paid DLC, I believe, for Spirit City Lo-Fi sessions. So there'll be more cosmetics and stuff. A new spirit, and I think that's also when their deal with Lo-Fi Girl is gonna happen, and like there's gonna be Lo-Fi Girl music in the game now, which is exciting. I do love this little PNG tuber. I was worried for a while that it was like not gonna be good, but I think it's cute. I think the software could afford to run better, but it's, you know, in beta, I think, so. It already looks better than my old one, so I simply cannot complain. And to be fair, to the software, my computer could run better. Can I tell you how rough it is? I, at one point consumed a lot of like PC building content because, I'm interested in doing that someday. And also the memes are pretty good. And it's the Meta PCs channel on YouTube, I think, whose shorts I was watching. And they do bits every once in a while where they talk, where one of the guys comes in and is like, hey, I got this old PC and I'm wondering if it's any good still. And the PC that they got for this bit, that was the quote unquote old PC that might not be good anymore, is the model after the model of PC that I'm currently running. And I was like, oh no. That hurt my pride a little bit. But PCs are fucking expensive, so I don't feel too bad for not being able to afford that in this economy. Surely not. But it was a good bit. A great bit, even. And it was mostly talking about how, because it's in, my PC's in Alienware, and they were talking about Alienware's weird proprietary hardware and shit. And this one in particular, the model, it's a very similar one to the one that I have now. Has the power supply sort of like front and center on the top part of it, and when you pull off the side panel to try to get into it, you actually have to, it's on like a hinge, you have to pull the power supply out to get into the like the internal components of it. And the guys are like, what the fuck? And I'm like, yeah, that's it. that's how it be. They're weird PCs, man. Anyways. World building, huh? I always worry that I do too much. Because I worry my stuff has to be unique. And truly, honest and truly, regardless of what my brain says, there are no like truly unique ideas that you're gonna put on paper. You know what I mean? You can have a spin on something that's already been done, maybe. But even then, nothing's truly unique, you know? And I try to tell myself that. And then my brain goes, you're just not trying hard enough. And tries to make it unique anyways. Despite the fact that it like doesn't matter to like 80% of the readers who would, you know, try it. I think it's truly like, I support and I do believe I'm more of a, I try to be more of a planner than a pantser. And if you've never heard those terms before, it's from back in the NaNoWriMo days before NaNoWriMo shit the bed. Planners are people who do not start writing like an actual draft of a story until they have like an established outline, they have their world building in check, they have any maps they need to be made already, you know, filled out and whatever. And pantsers are people who take a look at like a, you know, 1-sentence prompt on Tumblr and be like, oh, I could write 100,000 words about that, and then they do. And it's usually pretty good. I try to be more of a planner than a pantser. Because I know, mostly because I know my brain is gonna have questions about how things work. And if I'm in the middle of something, and my brain is like, hey, how does cyan magic work exactly? I'm not going to be able to continue with that something until I figure out every single facet of cyan magic to appease the brain. So that's why I'm mostly a planner. But truly, like, I don't think you need that much planning. I'm not even like an outline guy. I just need to know, I just need to know how the world works, and my brain will come up with scenarios to like fill those gaps, I think. But I just don't know how much you really need to get started. Especially since I'm doing less of for a while there I was working on a like TTRPG rule set and system, and I'm doing less of that at the moment because that was really stressing me out, trying to figure out how to make everything playable, you know what I mean? So I'm less worried about that right now. But even still, my world building for just pros is kind of insane. And I need to tone it down. I need to tone it down because like 80% of anything that I come up with, nobody's ever gonna know. Like, especially since you try not to be the person, like the villain monologuing about how his plan's gonna work, you know? I try not to be the person who's like, oh yeah, you know, like mid alchemy session when you're making potions, like we use this for this because it's full of whatever the fuck. You don't want to like go crazy info dumping on people mid prose. I do think I could probably corner the market on like, I've considered this honestly, like almost like textbooks or like reference guides, in-universe reference guides for like certain things I could totally like write that up from like a professional angle, but like about dragons or something. Dragons or like specific types of magic or like the history of whatever the fuck. I think that would be kind of fun. But until I write that reference material, it's really not gonna matter. And I really need to like internalize that. It matters to me, and I think that's not nothing. But I don't know. I don't know if it would ever matter to like an audience. some people it certainly would. I've been around long enough on like the game theory and film theory channels to know that to some people, all the little details matter. And I respect the hell out of those people, because I'm one of them. But I think for the most part, if you're just like writing, there's a rule actually that I've heard of, you know, specifically when you're writing like fantasy and sci-fi. Most people are not going to ask more than 2 questions about your anything, you know? So you just have to have those first 2 layers of buffer about a thing. And then people will just go along with it. If you can answer 2 questions about it, they'll just go along with it. So for instance, I'm trying to think of the example in the post, but I'm probably not gonna get it right. But say I have like a, you know, like our Dragon Rider scenario before. The first question, you know, upon being approached by the subject that there are people who ride dragons in this world, your first question is probably, God, what would your first question be? Where did you get the dragons? Do you buy the dragons? Are they hatched? Do you buy an egg and then you have to like take care of it for the rest of your life? Do you rent the dragons? Are the dragons part of like government forces, or is it just free for anybody to have? Are there regulations, rules and regulations? Because this is already so many more questions than people would have. The question would be like, where do we get the dragons, and probably like, how do you become a dragon rider? And if you can answer those, the people will accept that being a dragon rider is just a thing in your setting. And you don't have to go into like the turmoil, the feral dragons versus domesticated dragons versus dragons owned and controlled by local governments. You don't have to go into whether or not they're used for war. You don't have to go into whether or not they're used for sport. You don't have to go into, you know, anything else about it. For people to just accept that dragons are a thing. In theory. And I think that's kind of wild. Because I've always been a person who has asked so many questions. And I think that's why I'm like this. I think that's why I world build like this. Because I am that person who's like, okay, there's dragons and dragon riders in this setting. Who are we getting the dragons from? Who has access to the dragons? Are the dragons used for business or pleasure? Are they pets? Are they work creatures? Are they sapient? That's like a whole different conversation. I've had a lot of thought about like dragons that are sentient, sort of like essentially still beasts, but they can like understand what you're saying. Dragons that are sapient in terms of like can usually they usually like brain bond with their rider, and the rider can understand what they're like thinking and feeling, versus dragons that can just straight up talk to you. Like the implications of a setting that has even one of these 3 options are dramatically different than a setting with a different one of these options, or a setting with more than one of these options. If you have a setting with dragons that are essentially just animals, and you have a set in the same setting, you have dragons that can actually speak your actual language to you. Are those different? Do the dragons that speak your language, can they also speak to the other dragons that are sentient? It's so fascinating to me to just like go over all of these scenarios in my head. Even when like literally nobody cares. Like nobody cares except for like the one person who's gonna get really mad in your freaking comment section. And that's who I'm doing it for. No, I'm kidding. We don't do anything for I don't do anything for people who are gonna get mad at me. I will do things for people who also ask me the same questions that I am asking myself. We don't feed the trolls here. We don't. I try not to. I'm so parched. Let me go get a sody. I know I said halfway point. I'm getting a sody now. I've been talking too much. I'll be right back. She's right, it is getting a little toasty in here, but that's fine. The vintage of today, my friends, is a 2025 Coca-Cola with orange cream. Honestly, I've had this one before. When they announced Coca-Cola with orange cream, I didn't think I'd like it as much as I do. But it's pretty good. I fuck with it. Just like a little creamsicle note there on the end. It's good. I've had another idea that I'm not gonna vocalize. I'm gonna put it in my Discord. Just to get it out of my brain for long enough. Ooh, also, almost 6. We should change the little guy. What do we want him to do? What about little bay window? Looking out the window? Oh, he's peeping. Look at him peeping. Adorable. Since we're not writing and in fact just rambling, hashtag just talking stream, looking out the window is accurate. The texture also very good. The looking out the window with this background gives me big Legend of Zelda Wind Waker vibes. That was the one with the boat, right? Where the world was like underwater because of a thing that Ganon did or whatever. With Tetra? Was that the pirate girl? It doesn't matter. Good game. Well, good game from what I've seen. I never actually played Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. I've played Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Twilight Princess, I played like one of the original, like Link to the Past or something on like for the Game Boy or Game Boy Color. And then I owned a couple of other Legend of Zelda games, but I don't think I ever played them. I had the Ocarina of Time remake for the 3DS. I had Triforce Heroes, but I didn't have anyone to play with. I had Link's crossbow training for the Wii. Bro, that one was so good. One of the only games to get me interested in those fucking motion controls, if I'm honest. I'm not a motion controls guy. Mostly because it's not like precise enough. I'm honestly not even like a controller guy for most of my games. I'm a mouse and keyboard kind of guy. Born and bred computer gamer for the most part. But some games you, for the most part, cannot get on a computer, which is why I still own Nintendo systems. Cause look, we support a lot of nonsense in this chat, but I personally do not want Nintendo knocking down my door. You know what I mean? I'm not into it. Goodness. Business. Number. I saw, Borderlands 4 finally has, like, official gameplay. I haven't seen the official gameplay yet, but I'm interested to see what they're going to do with Borderlands 4, considering how terribly Borderlands 3 and also the Borderlands movie was received. I think, and honestly, I kind of want to check. Because I own that. Do I own that one? I do. It is marked as positive. So I guess it's not that bad. But I feel like I remember when it came out, a lot of people didn't like Borderlands 3. And a lot of people are mad at Take-Two and 2K right now because of the spyware. Which is bad. I don't like what they're doing either, but I'm here trying to figure out if it's a good game. I'm not here trying to figure out if the companies are shit. Wild. I've been playing through the original Borderlands with my dad, because we play video games every Sunday, and we used to be doing We did mini golf for a while. The walkabout mini golf on VR. But his headset was freaking out on him. He can't keep an internet connection to save his life, so until we fix that, we're playing Borderlands. And it's a good series, man. Even the first one is like not as good as I know the later ones are, but it's still enough to like keep my interest, you know? Ooh, Gamescom? I'm scrolling the Steam store page now. Getting salted caramel all over my fingers. Oh god. Hollow Knight Silk Song is on this list. I've heard rumor that they've got a playable demo out for this convention. For the con floor. And I think, what is it, in like a day or so? There's, Team Cherry was gonna have like an announcement or something? Actually, I'm really curious about that. Hold on. Because I did like Hollow Knight. I never finished Hollow Knight, and I go back and forth on to whether or not I would play Silk Song for the channel. I think I might. Depending on when it comes out, and if... I don't know. Depending on what else I have going on. I don't think I'd be good at it, but I think it would be a fun game. Silk Song. Special announcement set for August 21st, yes. Which is tomorrow. 10 a.m. Eastern, 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific. They announced it like yesterday in a tweet or something that said, join us in 48 hours for a special announcement about Hollow Knight Silk Song. Which is also definitely in correlation with this fucking convention, right? Gamescom. August 20th through 24th. So that's within their moment. I'm excited for them. A lot of people are really excited about the game, as they should be. Hollow Knight was a good game, and we've been waiting for that game for, God, a decade probably. I hope it's good. I hope Team Cherry gets all the money. Alright, Outer Worlds 2's coming out. He-Man and Masters of the Universe? What the fuck? That looks like the old school, yeah, old school arcade beat 'em up. Peek's on here, peek mention. What the fuck is this? Oh, they're marking Steam Deck compatibility on the main, like, Steam store page now, which is weird. I'll tell you what, I'm certainly not purchasing Borderlands 4 for the full price at launch. Honestly, I'm not gonna say you couldn't pay me, but it's $70 base game, $100 for the deluxe, and $130 for the Super Deluxe Edition. Which is fucked up. It drops in September? Oh my god, it drops in September. There's no shot this computer is going to be able to play that. So I'm not going to get my hopes up. Which is another reason why I'm not buying it on release. But you know, I hope it's good. I'm excited about it. I do love the franchise. But I do also need a better computer. It's in the works, you know? It's in the works. Just one of those things. Oh my god, I'm gonna schniz. Excuse me. My goodness. Okay. Well, that was a diversion. I forgot what I was even... Oh, that's right. We were talking about Borderlands 4. I love video games. Like, unironically, have been playing video games for longer in my life, I think, than I haven't. Between, like, consoles as a kid and, like, PC gaming. Because my dad was a big PC gamer, and then he made me a big PC gamer. I've definitely been playing pretty much since I had the fine motor skills too, I think. It's wild to think about. Goodness gracious, what else are we gonna ramble about today? I've been playing a lot of Binding of Isaac. I don't know if there's anything I can ramble about Binding of Isaac that hasn't been rambled about though. Considering it's like a... God, is that game like 10 years old? I was just looking at this the other day because I thought for sure it released in the 2010. No, I thought it released in the early 2000s, and I think I checked and it was a 2014 release, which is so much later than I thought it was. But also like tracks. That game's still so good. Especially now it's got like modding capability now, so obviously like it's gonna be as good as you want it to be, essentially. But even base game, it's so wild. It's like the roguelike, honestly. I'm really bad at it, but it's always been one of my favorites, I think. How many hours do I have in it? Not as much as I thought I did. I played a lot of it on consoles too. 484.7 hours with only 242 out of 640 achievements unlocked. That's so crazy. There's so much content in this game. For it and its DLCs only being like, what, $50 if you don't get it on sale? There's a a paid DLC and a soundtrack. Base game's $15, the DLC is fucking $11. Yeah. More than worth your money. If you're a fan of that type of thing, God. It's so gross and so weird, and I love it so much. Highly recommend. They're coming out with a new... Edmund's coming out with a new game. Upcoming releases? No, it's not out there yet? He's been working on a lot more than I thought he had, actually. Oh my gosh, they made another Tory Bash? That's amazing. Anyways, Edmund, I think, is working on a new game called Mewgenics? M-E-W? Yeah. I don't really know much of what it's about. But I think you have to, like, you are a cat, and you have to, like, make your cat better to survive this awful, potentially turn-based environment. Yeah, it's turn-based RPG. It looks kind of wild. Also, is that fucking... No, I don't think so. Planned release date in February 2026. You can count me as interested. We might play it on stream. Who knows? But yeah, some of these games, I've got like too many hours in it. Hold on. Because I know I can figure that out somewhere. On my profile? No. Yes. All recently played? All games, playtime. Yeah. So we've got Stardew Valley up top at 643.2 hours. Hilariously, Marvel Snap, that I haven't played since May, had 531.2 hours. And then The Binding of Isaac in third with 484.7. Man, I keep kind of wanting to get back into Marvel Snap, but honestly, it was not doing much for me. Played a lot of games, guys. Played a lot of games. Oh, I also saw the creators of Bendy had a new game out recently. It was like free to people who owned a different one of their games. Hold on. I haven't played any of the Bendy games since Bendy and the Ink Machine. Because that ending was so shit. I was like so mad about it for so long. Oh, but I was obsessed. I was obsessed when it was out. Because it was one of those ones that released in chapters. Maybe we'll get back into it. I'll add that to library. Because there's 4 games now, right? So, Bending in the Ink Machine. Actually, I thought there was a 5th one. Bending in the Ink Machine, Bending in the Dark Revival are the ones that I remember. Then there's Secrets of the Machine, I guess, which is an interactive thing that you can do. But there's also Bendy Lone Wolf that dropped literally on the 15th. I've heard nothing about it. But it's free for people who have purchased Boris and the Dark Survival. Hold on. I'm gonna have to make a new... I'm gonna make a new collection. I love collections on Steam. Bendy. Create collection. And then we've got Dark Revival, Ink Machine, Lone Wolf, Secrets of the Machine. But there was also Boris? Yeah, Boris and the Dark Survival. Is that different? Boris, oh, I'm just looking at the Boris page. Boris and the Dark Survival will be transforming into Bendy Lone Wolf. And if you own Boris and the Dark Survival, you'll get Bendy Lone Wolf for free. Okay. So what happened here? It is also Joey Drew Studios. Oh, it's no longer available on Steam. Oh. So they just like changed it, huh? Fascinating. I love owning shit that's no longer available on the Steam store. Honestly, I think it would be really cool to do maybe over our quote-unquote spooky season. I would really like to do series just like going through popular horror franchises. This is one of the easiest contenders for, you know, horror franchise I can go through. Second only to the one, the only, the Five Nights at the Freddy's. Because I do own almost all of the Five Nights at Freddy's games. I think I'm missing 1 or 2. I own 9 Five Nights at Freddy's games. So I feel like we could get some use out of them. I don't have Secret of the Mimic, I think is the newest one. And I don't have Help Wanted 2. And I don't have the fucking whatever it's called. The Dead by Daylight DLC where they put Springtrap into the game. We could maybe do that too, though. What other horror nonsense could I do for spooky season, though? Well, what other horror games do you have, Jackdaw? Let's see. Since we're just scrolling Steam now anyways, let's find out. I could do like indie hits. I have done Faith for the channel, technically. I could do like Doki Doki Literature Club and maybe even Fear and Hunger. We'll have Little Nightmares to play. I could play through all of Little Nightmares again. Oxenfree 2. I don't know. I'll be honest. Why is web fishing in my horror section? That's none of my business. A lot of horror games now, unless you're like Resident Evil, most of them don't get like 9 games in a movie. most of them get like 2, which is fine. It does make me sad, but it's fine. Some Alien games. Dead Rising 2. Dead Space. I did play Dead Space for the channel too, technically. But I could play it again. We've got Dread X collections that we could play through. They've got a lot of those actually, don't they? Oh, the Dread X people did Mortuary Assistant? I don't know if I knew that. And Amanda the Adventurer, oh my god. What a wild game. My Friendly Neighborhood? Hell yeah. Sucker for Love, love that. I thought there was more than 3 Dread X collections. There's 4 Dread X collections. Uh-huh. There's 5? I'm just going up the list here. I doesn't exist is interesting. Oh, and White Knuckle I heard of. White Knuckle's the climbing one. Interesting. Okay. We could maybe do some of the Dread X collections. Those have kind of been done, but I'm always happy to play through some nice quick horror games. I don't know. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. I'll have to start taking a tally of like stuff I would want to play during spooky season. Because I also think like we don't have infinite amount of time for spooky season, you know? So I think having like 1 or 2 things as a kind of through line is probably not a bad idea. I guess Shadows Over Loathing is probably horror, isn't it? No? You're gonna be based on Cthulhu mythos and you're not gonna call yourself horror? I know it's like a silly little game, but God, are they making another game? I really hope so. Nothing announced. That's fine. I just wonder, you know, because the last update to Shadows Over Loathing, which is their newest game, was in March of 2024. So maybe they got something cooking. What would I want to see out of this franchise next? They've done West of Loathing, which is like a western, and they did Shadows Over Loathing, which is like Cthulhu. I'm imagining like a spy thriller. Skyfall Over Loathing. Or like a when I'm imagining spy thriller, I'm imagining kind of like a even sillier Hitman. I think that would be funny. Or my second instinct was like zombie apocalypse. Like post-apocalyptic Mad Max overloading kind of deal. It'd be fun. I feel like I stalled forever, but it was simply like 15 minutes. It's hard. It's hard coming into Whip It Wednesday empty-handed. I also did almost say Whip It Wednesday. Like I'm Devo or whatever. Whoever band that was. But I don't know. I'm also just kind of here for the vibes. And I can, you know, talk nonsense for another hour and a half if I have to. At least another hour, certainly. Because at some point I'm going to need to eat dinner. I don't know. I hope you guys are having a good time. I always hope everyone's having a good time on the stream, but I also hope, like, specifically for Whip Wednesday. Because I'll be honest, like, statistically, Whip Wednesday doesn't do very well. But if you are here watching Whip Wednesday live, or if you are even watching the VOD, just know that I appreciate you, and I hope you're having a good time. I've been really considering, and this also probably goes with the same masochism that made me get back into Overwatch 2 for the first time in like 8 years. I've been kind of wanting to do like an MMO again. I keep seeing Final Fantasy XIV in my Steam library, and I'm like, what if I did a cheeky little Final Fantasy XIV? I think it would actually be really kind of fun to go through the entirety of Final Fantasy XIV like on stream. Like to do dailies, essentially. But that's also like a lot to ask. I don't really want to make this live stream Final Fantasy XIV centric, but it could become Final Fantasy XIV centric. I don't know. I hate paying subscriptions for things. Especially since you pay so much money for like the DLC and everything. And then you also have to pay, what is it, like $15 a month? You know I'm gonna have to Google it. Is that the one? Is it XIV? Yeah. Final Fantasy XIV promotional site. Sure. Over 30 million players. $30 million players is actually like a lot. I see. Windows, Mac, Steam, yeah. 30-day subscription, $13, I see. That's the entry. Included with purchase. Oh no, it is 15. But if you do more than 30 days, it's cheaper per month. So you can get it down to 13, but you'd have to pay for a 180-day subscription. Honestly, Is that something people would be interested in? Me playing through Final Fantasy XIV? I don't know. I feel like, as a person from the outside looking in, I feel like it would be nice to have like a first look at the game from a modern perspective. Because I hear a lot of people talk about Final Fantasy XIV, and a lot of them talk about how bad the early game is in terms of, like, it's long and tedious and ends up bearing little weight on, like, later expansions. You know, the way that, like, MMOs and games that have lasted this long kind of are. God, how old is this RPG? I kind of want to find out. Can you take me to, like, the wiki? Initial release date September 22nd, 2010. Honestly, that would kind of be crazy to give like a first look on the game 15 years after initial release. Oh, I'm kind of interested. That would be a Monday, September 22nd. It feels like a bad idea, because I already stream a lot on this channel. So I don't know if I could do every day. But I think we could maybe do like I could maybe do like the first week, and then we could do like a Final Fantasy Friday. Fuck. That would go kind of hard, actually. I'm gonna poll the Discord. I'm gonna poll the Discord. Create poll. At everyone. What if I started streaming for funsies? Yeah. We'll put that out here. I don't think it actually added everyone, but it doesn't super matter. Nobody really cares. I just think it would be fascinating to do. I'm already fascinated by the world of Final Fantasy in a way that I, like, don't know. I've only played like two Final Fantasy games, if you want to count Final Fantasy 14. In earnest. I played 14 and I played 16? Is the one with Clive? That's the man, right? And then I know a little bit about other Final Fantasy games through osmosis. I think it would kind of be fun to play through a lot of Final Fantasy on stream, just as like a project. But I don't know. It'd be a long ass project. There's welcome back to Googling number 2. You know there's those sites that tally how long it takes to beat a game. How long does it take to beat all of Final Fantasy? How long does it take to beat all of Final Fantasy? How long is Final Fantasy? From howlongtobeat.com. No. That's the first game. The first game that was just called Final Fantasy. Main series length in hours, original versions plus base. Okay. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, holy shit. 11 was the other MMO, right? 12, 13, 14, 2.0 version, and 15. So this doesn't take into account Final Fantasy 16, and it doesn't take into account all the new stuff in Final Fantasy 14. Am I gonna have to do the math on that? Lord. I can do the math on that. Oh god. Where'd my calculator go? Let's see. 16.5 plus. This also doesn't count the 7 remakes, I guess. Plus 36.5 plus 40 plus 39 plus 46 plus 130 plus 61 plus 48 plus 112 plus 28. These base numbers are already giving me 688 hours. Jesus Christ. That's a crazy amount of hours. I could, to put that into perspective, I stream, in theory, 5 days a week for 3 hours at a time, which is 15 hours a week times 52. I'm gonna do the math. Nope, not my alarm. 15 times 52 weeks in a year is 780 hours a year. It would take me, if I streamed this every day of my life and I didn't miss a single stream, and also I made those benchmarks, because as I discussed yesterday in the off episode, those benchmarks are usually lowballed for me. It would take me the better part of a year to finish all of these games. That's crazy. I feel like I would maybe just like finish them on my own time and report back. Maybe. You get all of them on Steam? Let's find out. This is what this is devolving into. It's not doing nothing. I'm planning for the future of the channel. Definitely. There's 33 games under the Final Fantasy tag. Oh my god. Oh, because this also includes like tactics and stuff. Online, Tactics, 7 Remake, 16, 7 Rebirth, 10 and 10-2 HD Remaster, 15 Windows Edition. That's 6, 4, 9. I can read. I can read fucking Roman numerals a little bit. It looks like they've got pretty much all of them. World of Final Fantasy. Wild. This definitely sounds like some shit that I would just get into on a whim. But can the bit last is the question. I don't know. I feel like I've done longer bits for worse. We'll see. I have an idea for like a new little project that I'm working on that might be fit for something like this. So I'm probably not going to stream all of Final Fantasy on stream. Probably. Might still play 14. Jury's out on that. Currently. Actually, can I edit? God, how many long projects can I get into? Final Fantasy, Homestuck, Five Nights at Freddy's. If I stop doom scrolling, there's truly no limit to all of the shit that I can get into, I think. And I honestly think the more long form shit that I have to do in my spare time, the better. To keep the brain occupied. To keep the juices flowing. It's kind of exciting. I think it would be kind of fun. I'm really excited about the future of like stuff that I'm gonna do on this channel and also in general. And I try to stay excited because otherwise I just become worried about the current state of things. And I think we simply just have to, you know, in light of everything that is happening that we're not even going to talk about. I don't want to talk about it because we're not going to bring the vibe down. But you simply still have to exist. You still have to create you still have to be those people, make those things, and enjoy that content, even if some people don't want you to. I do think it'll all blow over eventually, but I do think we've got a bit of a road ahead of us before it does. So I am going to try to persist in the knowledge that everything will be okay eventually. And that's all you have to do, you know? I mean, there is more activism that you could do, obviously, but if you're a person like me who wants to throw up every time they hear current events and simply is not mobile enough to do a whole lot about it, you simply have to keep existing, you know? You simply have to survive to see another day, to see the better day when all this shit blows over. And that's what we're here for. That's what I'm here for. I'm gonna be doing all my own shit until someone puts me in the ground. Including but not limited to potentially playing Final Fantasy XIV again. I played so many hours of that game. Honestly, not as many hours as I thought I would of that game. $55 hours? 55 hours on PC. I do also have it on PlayStation. Excuse me. I don't think I'm out of things to say, but I did definitely like zone out for a second. My brain was like packing up. We're done here, right? And then I had to be like, the bell doesn't dismiss you, I do. Do you guys remember that shit? Oh my god. That fucking high school, middle school bullshit. In middle school, it was actually a threat, I think, because I mean, what else were you gonna do against middle schoolers other than threaten them? But by the time you hit high school, it's like, brother, I'm an adult. Like, what are you gonna do about it? Suspend me? Good, I'd love to not be here. I did not have as will not surprise you, did not have a great experience with public school. Honestly, only really had an okay experience with college. But that was only because I made some like pretty good friends in college. Oh. My mouse is dying. My mouse. There we go. I'm just playing with this link, you know. What else do we want to talk about? We got one more hour. of WIP Wednesday, and I've done nothing to my WIP, which is truly the writer's curse, I guess. Ooh, I could start if we play through all of fucking Final Fantasy, I could start writing fanfiction about it. I haven't written fanfiction in so long, but I so kind of want to. I just get easily nervous about, I don't know, again, just like being in the public, I think. But also like writing fanfiction for an established work. Like I'm the kind of person who worries that I'm gonna like interpret the established canon badly, and then everyone's gonna be mad at me for my interpretation of the established canon, despite the fact that that's entirely what fanfiction is about like different interpretations of the established canon sort of living together. I don't know, maybe I'll write some fanfiction. I don't really have any good ideas, but I feel like as I indulge in more content, more real content, more established like shows and stuff, I might end up writing more fanfiction. If I do, it'll be linked on the YouTube page and on the Twitch channel. I wouldn't dare deprive you guys of something like that. And I also probably, as a rule, wouldn't like charge for fanfiction, for like fanfiction prompt fills or anything, simply because I don't want to do that to other creators. But also, it's just a good chance for me to like showcase my writing style, I think, in an easy sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Like non-canon way, you know, where like if all my original fiction stuff has to be so good TM, I can kind of do a lot more like fun experimental stuff with the fanfiction, because it's kind of like I'm giving it to you for free, you can't complain about it kind of feel, you know? I don't know. It's something to consider. I do follow a Tumblr blog called, I'm gonna be sad if I get this wrong, so I'm gonna have to look it up. I believe it's Wumper of Worlds. Hold on. Yeah, CEO of Used as Bait. That's right, baby. I was mostly thinking about Final Fantasy because Wumper of Worlds who does not have pronouns in bio. Unfortunate. Wumper of Worlds has a pair of OCs that I believe were specifically made from a Final Fantasy game. Like one of the original ones. And it was their birthday recently, and they held a little mini event where you could like with like a prompt list and everything. And it was really fun, and I was really excited for them. They're like much more popular on Tumblr than I am. Yeah, 10th anniversary Wump event. Yeah, 10 years ago they played Final Fantasy 1, and they made 4 characters, a monk, a thief, a red mage, and a white mage. The monk and the thief are their Blorbos. Which is so fun. I would love to do some shit like that at some point. But, I don't know. They also just are very clearly like a Final Fantasy nerd. So it just, Final Fantasy 1 comes up on my dash sometimes. Like I saw they reblogged a Final Fantasy 15, the boy band one. Little mini comic the other day, and I was like, ooh, delicious. And then I saw it was them and I was like, hey, I know you. That's the one thing that I really like about, let's move over a little bit. I really like about social media, but that I also like don't have in my social media experience is stuff like that, because I simply don't reach out to people. And it's like a me problem, fully, but I don't know. I don't post a lot. I don't talk to a lot of people. I'm hoping that might change at some point, but it's gonna change a whole lot less if I just simply stop using social media. We'll have to find a good balance. Cause I don't want to not get even fake human interaction. But I do want to, you know, hear less about everything that's happening in the world. So maybe we're simply taking a break. Mayhaps. Look at this man and his little controller. Look at his long little sleeveys. He can hardly play his game. He got his sleeveys too long. Oh. I love little duck man. That's so fucking cute. Maybe I'll make like I feel like I should make a specific blog for like just posting. I'll just like drop a post and then disappear into the ether for like another 2 weeks. It's just for letting people know like what I'm up to. But even then, if that sort of thing is on like Tumblr, nobody's gonna get it anyway. I think that blog is gonna end up being like my Patreon. Cause you can make just like posts and be like, I don't know. Everything is going to be content, obviously, but I feel like me also talking about stuff that I want to do on the channel or stuff that I want to write about in the fic or stuff that I'm gonna, you know, talk about is also content. Everything's content if you want it to be. It's so good. The vibes are so cute. What's happening here? Ooh, new Dimension 20 episode. Just got the notification on my phone. Goodness. I am running out of things to talk about. I knew it would happen. Every time I come on here and, like, without a plan, I always run out of stuff to talk about. And this is why I think, like, 3-hour segments of streaming is a good sweet spot for me. Because, I think I've said in a previous stream, I used to be the type of streamer who just, like, started streaming and then went until I, like, physically couldn't stay awake anymore. And it's not good for me. So I ceased that, thankfully. But I often consider, you know, a lot of people on my feed have been doing like subathons and stuff, and a lot of people do a lot longer streams than I do, and that's their prerogative. Good for them. But I was like, could I do, if you paid me, could I stream for 12 hours in a day? And honestly, gang, I certainly think I would try if you paid me, but I don't know what that would devolve into. I don't know how quality that stream would be. If I had a game to play for 12 hours, I think we would probably be fine. But I'd have to reach into every little crack and crevice in my wrinkly little brain to try to, like, figure out stuff to talk about for 12 hours. I can't even think the last time I talked for nearly that long. I'm not an extrovert type, you know. If we had more people in the chat, maybe. But if it's just me up here, like, at the mic telling all my dumb jokes, boy, I don't know. I would certainly give it a shot, though. Oh, I downloaded, and this might help me in my endeavors. Oh, I have to edit my Patreon or it's going to be taken off. That's fine. It's not a huge deal. What the fuck was I saying? God damn it. I had a thought and it was already gone. It's gone out of my head. I don't even remember what the sentence started with. Nope. It's gone. Say lovey. Goodness. I have no inkling. Not a single thought as to what I was gonna fucking talk about. So we must pivot. Do you think, I mean, I am interested in doing some horror games in like September, October. If we take that week, we might take that week to do Final Fantasy XIV if I'm an idiot about it. But I think it would be good. I think it'd be fun. Some horror content. I would love to play Look Outside. I'd love to play, like I said, that Bendy series. I'm actually really curious now if it's gotten any better since I fell off of the train at the end of the first game. I was so fascinated by it. It's still so aesthetically good. Unironically, if your game has a good look to it, there's like an 80% chance I'm already like obsessed about it. And that's not even to say like high fidelity graphics. You know, a game that isn't a game that I'm also fucking obsessed with is Petscop. Not only is it not playable, it also looks like MS Paint in some portions. And stuff like Kindergarten was fun. They released the third one of that too. I could play all the Kindergarten games. Those are fascinating. Is that game's like out, right? Do I have Kindergarten 1 and 2. Kindergarten 3. Yeah. It dropped in June. I did hear about that. I haven't seen any gameplay though. Those games are wild. Truly. They're so stupid and gory in such like a, I don't know, almost like an early Newgrounds kind of way. You know? Where the art style is like cute enough or not realistic enough for it to be a problem, but objectively horrible things are happening to the people in this game. God, I kind of want to play those now. Maybe we'll have a lot of content for September. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Because September, October, the only confirmed game release we have for the next couple of months is Little Nightmares, right? Little Nightmares 3? Sort by release date. Yeah, Borderlands 4, obviously. We talked about that. Ooh, Strange Antiquities is out in September. That's the sequel to, Strange Horticulture. I 100%ed that game. We might play that. Excuse me, we might play Strange Antiques and Strange Antiquities on stream. But yeah, then it's just Little Nightmares 3 in October. Okay. Fascinating. We got a lot of options. I play a lot of games on this channel. It's truly whatever I want to do with it. Which is also why I think, other than Work in Progress Wednesday, I think any other nonsense that we do on the channel, like we previously had Happy Chower, and I kind of stopped doing Happy Chower after a little while. I do still like Happy Chower, the concept, and like Sonic Adventure 2, but I feel like it got a little stale. I like to keep things a little fresh. And that's not necessarily to mean to be... I can words. I like keeping things fresh, and that doesn't necessarily mean playing the newest games when they come out, but maybe not playing the exact same thing every single week. And I'm guilty of this sometimes. We play a lot of Slay the Spire on the channel. But it's good. No, I'm kidding. I'm not kidding about the goodness of the game, but I am kidding about the reasoning. With like roguelikes and stuff, it's easier to kind of fill the gaps. But I like keeping a lot of the long plays and a lot of the staples of the channel fresh. So we've got Off going on right now. We've got Date Everything still in the background, kind of backburnered a little bit, which I will probably play for at least a little while longer. We'll come back to it. I'd love to finish the game at some point, but I feel like sequentially it might get a little backburnered here for a month or two. Unless we can finish it by the end of August, which is not an option. Regardless, I think other than doing this every Wednesday, the rest of the week is probably going to be pretty flexible. And I kind of like keeping it that way. My schedule tends to be pretty flexible, even like day to day, you know. Sometimes I'll get people to play with me. Sometimes I'll get the urge to play a different game, or sometimes I get a notification that there's been an update or whatever, and we pivot, and I think that's fine. I don't know. I try not to be too precious about it, because when I be too precious about it, that's when the perfectionism gets me and I start stressing. I don't want to stress about this channel. This channel's like 98% for fun by volume, specifically. The other stuff I do, you know, if we expand a little bit into some of the things that I have percolating in the background, that's going to be more formal. It'll probably have more of a regular release schedule, but the like Twitch live stream stuff is for fun for sure, every time. And I'd like to keep it that way. I love this dumb little shark plush, by the way. I want him IRL. I want to put him in my pocket. I want to carry him around like a toddler. So what do we have for the rest of this week? We're going to be playing Off again tomorrow, Thursday, and potentially Friday. I'd be really surprised if we didn't finish Off on Thursday. But if it takes till Friday, it takes till Friday. If we do finish Off on Thursday, it'll probably just be a roguelike on Friday. Potentially like a Slay the Spire, Ring of Pain. We could honestly play the Binding of Isaac a little bit, but I do have that modded, and I don't know if it would be as fun to watch, because I've just kind of turned it into a numbers go up game. I've really taken a lot of the difficulty out of it, but it's fun. Okay, so sometimes I just want a numbers go up game. What else? What other rogues do we have on the docket? I know I had a whole folder here. Yeah. Backpack Hero. Peglin. Peglin's good. Dicey Dungeons. I don't think I've played Dicey Dungeons for the channel yet. That's a fun one. Have they done anything else? Because I feel like that one's been out for a while. What the hell is it? Terry Kavanagh, huh? Oh my gosh, this guy also did Super Hexagon and VVVVVVV, or whatever the fuck you pronounce that as. That's awesome. They just released a game called Terry's Other Games, and the description is just, "Hi, I'm Terry Kavanaugh. You might remember me for such video games as Dicey Dungeons, Super Hexagon, and VVV. Here's a few other things I've made over the years." That's kind of fun. And he just dropped this in like February of this year. Huh. Honestly, throw that on my wish list. I don't know if I'd play it for stream, but highly recommend. First of all, the fact that he did something like this at all, I think is so fun and cool. This is very similar to Landfall did something similar, I think called the Landfall Archives? Yeah. Where Landfall also released a collection of their previously unreleased games, demos, and interactive slideshows. And even an unreleased version of Totally Accurate Battle Simulator from 2017. I think that's so fun and cool. Landfalls is free, whereas Terry's is like $10, which I think is fine if you charge for it, if you don't, you know? Well, however you want to deal with your content. But I think that's always just like so cool to see, like stuff that could have happened, or like I think with Terry specifically there's like commentary and stuff about like the game development side of things, and I'm fascinated by that. But yeah, good stuff. Good games. A lot of people, I still see, even though I think it's gone down a lot, there's still a lot of people who go up to bat for like console versus PC as if we are like in a literal war zone, and try to say, you know, such and such is better than so and so because of this, and such is better than so and so because of that. And honest and truly, first of all, there's no need to fight about this. You're fighting about this because the companies want you to fight about this, because that's a capitalism thing. You're not immune to propaganda. We're not at war. Stop that. Second of all, everybody's got their pros and cons. But third of all, PC gaming's where it's at. And let me tell you why. If you are just a person who plays like the latest AAA releases, if you're a person who just plays like a Call of Duty or Pokemon or Mario, or can I name another AAA title? Even like your Soulsborns, your Elden Rings, then you don't need a PC. Should you have one? Is it still better? Maybe. But I love PC gaming specifically for all of the like weird shit you can get into. I never would have known about Undertale if it weren't for PC gaming. I never would have known about Off if it weren't for PC gaming. I never would have known about The Binding of Isaac if it weren't for PC gaming. I never would have known about, God, West of Loathing, Shadows Over Loathing, if it weren't for PC gaming. Some of these are available on other consoles now, but by and large, as a whole, a lot of fandoms, especially for like indie video games, a lot of fandoms owe a lot to the PC gaming community, because let me tell you, most of these things are only available on Windows systems. They will be available for one version of Windows, and that is it. You don't get console crossover, you don't get even like to Mac or Linux. You will oftentimes just get little flecks of gold amongst the deluge that is only available, potentially even for this moment in time, for the one system, and it's usually PC. It's even Peak right now. I think is PC exclusive. I don't think I've seen it on consoles yet. We just get all the cool shit first. And if you're the type of guy who wants all the cool shit first, you gotta be a PC gamer. You gotta be a PC gamer. Especially in 2025, when there really isn't a whole lot of like console exclusives anymore. And even if they are, let me tell you, PC gamers know how to get console exclusives too. I don't know how to tell you this, but we do. It is a lot of upfront cost. But once you take care of that upfront cost, you can do whatever you want with it, you know? I think it's very freeing. But that's also, you know, I have been a PC gamer my whole life, but I've also owned every freaking system out there that wasn't an Xbox, you know? But between me and my parents, we've owned all of them. I've had PlayStation 1 through 5, including the Vita, but not including the PlayStation Portable. I've had Game Boy Color through Nintendo Switch for handhelds. I had a Dreamcast, Sega Dreamcast. We had GameCube, Nintendo GameCube. Had an N64 for a little while. Had a Wii, had a Wii U. I did like fucking everything, man. And I would trade, like, maybe not some of the old systems, but in terms of like current, if you're asking me whether I would take a PC, the latest Xbox, the PlayStation 5, or the Nintendo Switch 2, it's going to be a PC every time. PC every time. And I do respect, you know. This is not to hate. I'm simply doing an analysis. And I'm simply, you know, I do love having a PC, and I encourage you, if you want to get into like the weird side of video games, having some sort of PC access is probably what you want. But I respect, you know, if all you've got is a Nintendo Switch, if all you've got is a PlayStation 4 or whatever, like, I also, you know, meet yourself where you're at. You don't need to do like all of these crazy updates. You don't have to build yourself a $5,000 gaming PC to play fucking the Off remaster. You simply do not. Because that's what a lot of people think of when, you know, when we're talking about moving from console to PC gaming, if that's what you're into, or simply getting into gaming in general. It's all a lot of upfront costs, because it's a luxury service, let's be honest. It's a luxury service. You're either going to pay upfront for the console, or you're going to pay upfront for the PC and peripherals, which is two completely different numbers. It ain't easy. But it's been like my whole life. So I always encourage, I used to be the type of person who's like, and even me, this is me saying this despite the fact that I've been playing video games since I was, God, probably like 6. Even I'm the kind of person who is sometimes like, I can't play insert game style here because I'm not good at it. I'll tell you a couple of game styles that I'm not good at. And one of them, tippy top of the ladder, fighting games. Good God, trash at fighting games. And some people, including my buddy Vince, may tell you that's because that I don't know how to block in video games. And that's not true. I do know how to block in fighting games. I simply choose not to. And I'm just not a guy who can like memorize all the combos and all of the, you know, the tight matchups and shit. Not even tight matchups. Like character v character. Like fighting games, to truly get good at fighting games, I think you have to memorize like what you do and also what everybody else does so you know what to counter. And I simply cannot. I shrimply will not. Another one that I'm bad at and that I pretty much never play are the Soulsborne types, the ones where they just run you into the ground, and you have to just get really good at dodging things. That sort of like Soulsborne, and also shit like Devil May Cry, where you just got to get really good at like combos and dodging and parrying and countering, and that is not for me. Is not for me. I don't have the patience. I will not have the patience. I very infamously, one of my ex-boyfriends was big into Soulsbornes, which, you know, I know is probably a red flag, but I went with it for longer than I probably should have. And around the time that we were in this relationship, Bloodborne first released, and it was crazy popular, and he was big into it, so I was like, alright, I'll buy Bloodborne for the PlayStation 4. I spent 4 hours in that game, and I did not even make it to the cleric beast in that like first part of the city, and I had to put it down because I was too frustrated about it, and I did not pick it back up. I simply would not. So I think that's more than enough of a Soulsbornes for me, for the most part. Unless it's like I do own and I do play and I have finished, though not 100% yet, Another Crab's Treasure, which is by Aggro Crab. We love them here. It's their Souls-like, I think is what they describe it as, because it is a heavy combat style video game in the same vein, but there's a lot of very good accessibility features to that game to make it so that I could get through it easier, and I really appreciate that of them. I really loved the game, and it remains one of my favorites of pretty much anything I've played. Highly recommend. Even if you're not a Soulsborne type of guy, they've got good settings to make it a lot easier on you if you're interested in that sort of gameplay style, or even in the art style. I really like the art style of that game. Highly recommend Another Crab's Treasure. But let me tell you, I'm not the type of guy who like shits on other people for playing things that I'm not a fan of. I think you know me here well enough, but it's been months of streaming. I'm not the type of guy to get mad over a lot of things for the most part. I'm certainly not the type of guy to shit on you for your opinions unless you're shitting on me for mine. I'm not saying you have to be a PC gamer by any means. I'm just saying, for the people who are at the beginning of their journey, who are sitting before them with a not Professor Oak, who is like, pick your starter, and your starter options are Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, or Microsoft again, because it's Xbox and PC. I would recommend PC every time. That's all I'm saying. Ah, the vibes. You ever get, like, I feel like this happens to me a lot. I go on so many tangents in a conversation that by the time I've, like, finished my sentence, by the time you put the period in the place where it's supposed to be, I, like, fully don't remember where the conversation started. And it doesn't help that I'm essentially talking to myself here. I'm talking to, you know, the audience, but it's mostly me, myself, and I here at this point. When I'm talking in circles to myself, my brain does not remember why I started chasing my tail about this. You know what I mean? I'm sure it had some reason, but it makes making a point a lot more difficult, I think. In terms of like I'm almost completely unable to circle back because I keep trailing off into the woods to be abducted by the Fae. Gosh. Good golly gosh. I can't believe stream's almost over. I can't believe I managed to talk out of my ass for fully 3 hours. I mean, I can believe it. It's certainly not impossible, but wild. I hope you guys had fun. Hope you got something done. Hope the vibes were good. I didn't get anything that I wanted to done, but I do have some ideas for like stuff that I want to do for the channel. That are hard to execute while live streaming. So I'm gonna call that a win anyways. Honestly, like I said, the fact that I showed up and live streamed, I think is a win. Fucking no one online. That's fine. It doesn't matter. I might play Final Fantasy XIV anyways. I put that poll out. I might still play Final Fantasy XIV, regardless of what anyone says. I was just curious to see if anyone would watch it. I don't know how. I know people still stream it. I don't know how like popular of a category it is though. I could look that up too. Let's make sure our volume's turned down for when something inevitably autoplays. Yeah, what's autoplaying is my own stream. $4,200 viewers and 1.9 million followers. Honestly? Fuck yeah, dude. Man, it's so hard to go scrolling like this. I get so self-conscious. I get so self-conscious about my setup and like everyone else's setup. But I think it plays pretty well on the PC. So we might be able to. I worry that the bandwidth-wise we might not though. I don't know. I'll think about it. I've got like a month to figure it out, because the 15-year anniversary of Final Fantasy 14 is on the 22nd of September, I think is what I saw. I think that would be kind of fun. I think that would be fun to do. To start from nothing. We could even make our own little guy. I can write fan fictions. That's what I wanted to do for the Stardew Valley playthrough, but then I kind of stopped the Stardew Valley playthrough. I do have another Stardew Valley blorbo that I kind of want to write fan fiction about, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm indecisive about everything, so honestly, you'll have to wait and see if if any of this ends up working out. But I think that's gonna be about it for me this evening. About me for it this evening. Goodness. While I can still piece together a sentence. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me this evening. For watching the stream live, for watching the VOD after it's been posted. We appreciate any and all ways you interact with my content here on the channel, honestly. Make sure you can come back tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be playing more of the Off Remaster, which is exciting. Might be finishing the Off Remaster, which is also exciting. And then Friday, also 5 p.m. Eastern, you'll have to come in and see what we're doing. Because it might be more off, it might be, I don't know, Dicey Dungeons or something. You'll have to make sure you're following, and you turn on those notifications to see when I go live and with what. Until then, my friends, I hope you enjoy your evening, and I'll see you guys next time.